Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. I wanted to show you my new journal, my newest journal that I have been working on. This is the one I've been alluding to in other videos. And I got this, how to make this journal from Beth's Journal Boutique. And I'm going to leave the link to the video where she shows how to make this. So this is what is called a flip-flop journal. And from what I could tell, I mean, I did the basics from what she showed in her video, but it pretty much seems like you can add what you want, where you make one of these journals. And so this whole journal, believe it or not, and I'll show you how it works, is only made from the bones of it, the skeleton of it is only using 4 envelopes. So this is one envelope here, and then I have 3 of this longer sized green envelopes here. So this is the flip-flop journal. So this is what I'm going to be using as my fairy journal, and it's not decorated. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's basically decorated, but not all the stuff that I'm going to put in there, not all the goodies and everything. So I hope to work on some of that with you guys. So in the front here, we've got this shorter envelope, and you flip it open like this, and then you can flip it open like this. I've got 2 pockets in here, and then in here I have a envelope. Now this little envelope has a little booklet in it with just some coffee dyed paper. I decorated this little envelope as a part of the Junky Envelopes open collaboration, and if I remember, I'll link this in the end card how I made these little ones, because there's going to be another one, but this was a part of a collaboration. So I made that little envelope, pocket envelope, with the booklet in it, and the envelope is from a used piece of trash, you know, a business envelope. So I just have that tucked in there. This pocket, I don't have anything, so maybe we'll be working on that pocket today. Then over here on this side, I've made a little booklet, and this booklet is all just coffee stained paper, coffee dyed paper. So very plain. So I might be sketching in there, I might be stamping in there, I might be doing a little artwork in there, I'm not sure. I just wanted to make the basic booklet and then use this as a fairy garden type magical little booklet. So, or journal. So there's that little booklet there. So here's the front of my first big envelope, and I've got in here the other one of the envelope pocket things that I made for the collaboration Junky Envelopes. And here's the little booklet in here. And again, this one is just coffee stained paper that I have in here. You can tell from the background here that this is a envelope, business reply envelope. And I just went ahead and made the little booklet. I decorated the front. I put a little tab on it. I think after I made it for the collaboration, I decided to put that little tab on it when I decided that I wanted to put it in this pocket so that I could pull it out easily. Okay, so the little tab like sticks out a little bit. So then you fold it over this way, and I've got 2 pockets here. These pockets are made out of some beautiful scrapbook paper that looks like vintage doilies, and I did cover the back of the envelopes with paper also. So this is all just scrapbook paper, this is scrapbook paper, and for these smaller pieces like the pockets and stuff, I'm using up pieces of scrapbook paper. I tried not to cut up big pieces to do some of this smaller work. So these are just 2 pockets here. Then you turn the page over here, again, scrapbook paper here, and here is another little booklet. Now this one I used scrapbook paper, and then I have a video on how I made the painted coffee filters, and this one has the gold metallic watercolor on it, splattered on it. Scrapbook paper, this is the video I did where I grunged up the crochet book with paint and the brayer. So I have that little booklet in here. Okay, so then this is the back of the journal here. Okay, this is the back, and this is just a piece from one of those how to paint books. I thought that was a very pretty picture. So then you flip it over this way, this way. And I've got more scrapbook paper and yet another little journal in here. And here's another one of these pieces that I grunged up. Some brown paper, some music paper. The little booklets I made, there's 3 in total that are sewn in. And they all only had 4 pages apiece. So then this is just scrapbook paper, then you turn it here, and then here's 2 more pockets. These were from some Edith Holden, a book, some scraps that I had. And in this one, I made this scrappy little paper pad and just stuck it in there. Of course, that needs more decoration, but I just stuck that in like that, and then you turn it, and there's the front again. So basically, you go this way, and then you flip it this way, and so you've got like twice the space in the journal. There's a lot in here, believe it. And with those 3 booklets and everything, and in the pockets and everything, it's only this thick. When you see Beth's Journal Boutique, the one that she did it as a design team project for the graphic fairy, and hers is really thick, and I think mine will be when I get done with it. So I thought today maybe what we'd do is I have some grungy tags already made up, like some coffee stain tags and stuff. And I actually did not make these. I was lucky enough to find these at a yard sale. Someone had already made all these lovely grungy coffee tags. So I thought they'd be perfect for a journal, for a fairy journal. So maybe we'll just make a tag to put into one of these pockets here that have the lace look here. So when I think of a fairy, you know, I did show you in one of my other videos my 3 little fairies here that I've made, and I'll make some more. And I have some pictures to cut out of some fairies. They're not all going to be my fairies. I have some paper with pictures and so on and so forth. But when I think of fairies, you know, I think, well, like everybody does, you know, nature, because, you know, they live outside and, you know, whatever. So I have gathered a few little goodies here. Now, this is just a little sketch that I did. And I was thinking maybe I would put that on the cover of this. This is just a sketch that I did of some leaves. I mean, I don't know why. And it's kind of bright, so I might have to ink that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's just play a little bit, and then I'll do videos every once in a while working on this. I'm sure I'll work on this by myself a little bit, but at the end, when I'm pretty much convinced that it's done, I'll do a all over flip through, you know, whatever. But I hope maybe once or twice I can make some videos for you guys, and we'll work on this and maybe give you some ideas on what you can do with a fairy journal if you want to make one. So I'm going to put this on here, and this is on watercolor paper, so I'm going to use the Beacon glue. And this is kind of plain, so I'm thinking, you know, along over time it's going to get some flowers maybe put on it or something like that too. But just for now, I'm feeling like it needs to go there. And you got to start somewhere, right? That's the thing. When you have a new journal, you kind of get that blank page phobia or whatever, the white page phobia. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do it and stick something on so that I can get on with decorating the rest of it. And like I said, I've got some paper flowers and stuff. Maybe I'm going to put some of those. You know what? Let's just do that. Hang on one second. I'm just reaching over here if I sound funny. Okay, let's, I got a little bit of extra glue there. I want to make sure I get that off because I don't want to glue my pages together. I have a bag with some paper flowers and stuff. So let's just pull out some flowers and see what we might want to stick on there. Okay, here's some pretty flowers, but then here's some pretty pink flowers. Those little ones, oh, these are cute. These ones are little birdie flowers, and I'll probably use some of those in this journal too, but not for this. I'm feeling for right here, I need something that's smaller and flatter. So let me just take a look. Those are too bright. These ones are cute. These are very grungy, but we might use those where we actually use a fairy. Then I've got white ones, and then I've got those and those. Okay, I think what I'm going to use actually, let's see if I can do these. These are from Tuesday morning. Not only Tuesday morning, these are Prima, but it was Tuesday morning clearance. So I'm just thinking, I want to see if these are too big. I don't think so. Or do we want to use the pink? No, I think we're going to go with the green on this. How are these attached? Are they just glued on? Oof, they are indeed just glued on. So I'm wondering if we can just maybe put a flower or two. Well, maybe just one flower would be okay. Maybe just one flower. All right, let's just start there. Maybe, you know, next time you see it, there'll be a whole bunch of little flowers around it or something. Who knows, right? We don't have to commit to anything. But I do want to put a little flower on there, so let's do that. And let me just get that off there. Okay. Okay, so I've already I've already done that. See, and I can always write something on here or put a sentiment down here. But I had this tag here, so let me just get these flowers out of the way. And let's work on a little tag here. I did pull out some things that a fairy might use. I do have this seed package for a lettuce leaf basil. Now that could be a nice pocket somewhere. That might look good here. This is just on the beginning. This is my next, or a little journal. And if I put it here, the only thing is I do not at my desk have my punch. So I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do that now because I want to put a notch in there and I don't have my round punch, but I'm going to put that there. Let's go back to our tag here. Now I have this little wild berry fruit tea thing. You know, I tend to think that fairies, because they live outside, not only can they be kind of dirty, but also that they find things. You know, they find and use the little things that they find outside. So they could maybe have found this blowing in this breeze, this little fruit tea thing. So I'm wondering if I should make a little pocket out of this little thing here. And I'm going to have to cut the fruit tea, but that's okay. I could make a little pocket for that. I wonder if one of my fairies would want to live in a fruit tea thing. I could put one of my little fairies in there. I could put Dirty Fairy in there. And she could live in there. Well, we'll see. I do like the idea of the pocket. I do have this rucola, but that kind of clashes with that, so I'm not going to use that. I have some offcuts here of some paper that I used for a journal. Well, journals I was making, and I had to cut up lots and lots of strips. We could maybe somehow use this also for this page. Maybe do something like that. And then I've got some also, I've got a bunch of these little things, these little labels and whatnots from Tim Holtz and some that I had ordered online. I'm just trying to see if there's something in here that might be worthy of a fairy journal. This is the little bag. This is hard to go through. This is the one where I dropped it. I think one of my videos recently, I told you I dropped the whole thing upside down and they all dumped out. So nothing is in order here. So I'm just going through here to see what might be in here. Here's a pretty little tag. We could maybe put that there. I want to kind of layer some stuff up, right? Here's some pretty little flowers. I wonder if I put them in there and put the tag on top or something. Is that too vertical? I don't know. Oh, here's a cute little bird. Okay. I need to define what am I using this pocket for. Is it going to be for a fairy, or am I going to stick something else in it? That I don't know. That's a good question. All right, I'm going to keep looking here. I do have some other papers that I got recently. Now these, everything in this little box here, I got 2 of these blocks of cool little papers, and then the back is vellums, like vellums with cool little pictures. I've got 2 of them. They're different. And I got these 2, and then all these little papers. There's 6 of them. They came like this, with some larger papers, medium paper, and then small paper in themes. Like this one is flower, like old vintage flower patterns. This one here is all book pages and things like this. I had 6 of them. One's ledger papers, all different. And I got these at my church yard sale. So that was a good find. But let me go ahead and get back to this. What am I going to do here? You know what? I think I'm not going to use either of those right there. I think what I'm going to do is just, the fairy might have found this ticket, and let's get a little piece of background paper. Okay, so this set here has some handmade papers, or well, these are not handmade paper. These are little copies of handmade paper. So maybe we can pick one of these little handmade papers and put that back. Let's just make a little collage. That would be a good thing to do. So let's make a collage of these papers. Oh, now I've done it. Okay, so let's do that with that, because this has red in it, and I don't know if you can see, but that has a little bit of red in it too. And what else do we have? Let's see here. Here's another little ticket. So if I do this, though, I don't want to waste my fairy, a fairy on this. They might just live in a pocket, like I said. But then I've got these cute faux stamps here that maybe I could use one of these. Let me just cut this across here and make a little collage. And that faux stamp, if you can see, is a little bit too white, so we can just grunge that up real quick. And take a look at the video, my video inspiration for this, because she did a fantastic job on hers, and I think that you'll like it. And hers is so fat. And I think mine will get there even just by doing, little things like this. You know how things build up. So then I've got some stickers here. So maybe I can just take, well, this is not a sticker. This is cut from a magazine, or a book, a field guide. Just put a flower or something up like that. I'm just looking what I have. Oh, look at these cute little birds. They're going to go in there somewhere. I just want to use up some of these little things and whatever that have been around my desk. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually good with this. So let's go ahead and do this. So this is always the hard part, is how do you put the collage together, once you've made it. Where's my glue stick? My trusty glue stick is here, and my glue paper is over here. Okay, so while I'm gluing this down, I'm going to tell you this story. So I have a couple sheets of these I think this is from the back of contact paper, and so it's good for glue paper because it doesn't stick. Well, I have a couple of sheets of that, and I've got some big sheets of this paper that I got. I was driving downtown near where my antique mall is, where my booth is. And I drove by the government building, and out in the trash, they had all these rolls of paper. And at first I looked, when I drove by, it actually looked like it was tissue paper. And I thought, oh my gosh, why are they throwing all that tissue paper out? So I ran around the block and found a parking place, and went ahead and went to see what that was, and it wasn't tissue paper at all. It was rolls of plans that people submitted to the town to build buildings.
And so I'm like, gosh, you know, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble if I take one of, take some out of the trash. But I figured if it's in the trash and it's sticking, I mean, these were literally overflowing the top of the trash bin, okay? They weren't like in a trash bin and the lid was tightly on and, whatever. So obviously they weren't keeping these things secret because they had so many trash cans just full of these things sticking out. So I went ahead and I took one, and then I realized it was just paper, printed paper, but they're really big, and maybe I'll show you a piece sometime when I make a journal or something. But what they turned out to be is, I think actually I'm going to change my mind because I can. I think I'd actually like to use this stamp here instead of that other one, because I like the flowers go better. So, and they look more like that one, and the color I think is better. Even though I have to ink it up to get rid of the white, I think it will work better. But anyway, so I took these things, and they're just plans. And the one I took was actually for the plans to build the Walmart that is one of the Walmarts in the town near where I live. Well, where I go to town, right? So I put a piece of that paper on the, I don't even know how this started. If you have cats, you might understand this. If you have a cat and you do something that they like one time, they will expect you to do it for the rest of their lives. So I had the big piece of paper on the floor next to my other desk where my computer is. And then I had some pieces of tissue paper, white tissue paper, and then some of this paper from the contact paper on the floor. And I don't know why it was all on the floor like that. I'm not sure what I was doing. This is not straight. I'm not sure what I was doing, but it was all on the floor next to my desk. Well, in the evening, Holly expects me to play with her. We play feather with a peacock feather. And I had all that paper on the ground. Well, she thought that was the best thing because I was putting the peacock feather under the papers and she could kind of see the papers rustling, or I'd put it under the tissue and she could see the feather under the tissue, and she was playing with it, and oh my goodness, she was having so much fun. She'd even walk out of the room like she was not interested anymore. And then if I still ruffled the feather, she'd come tearing back in the room and use that big piece of paper like a slip and slide. It's the funniest thing. I mean, it is so funny to watch her. And I record it, but it would be hard for me because I have to do the feather to get her to move. She won't do that. She's scared of my husband, and she won't let him play with her like that. But anyway, so now every evening, guess what I get to do? I have to put the papers all on the floor next to my desk and play with her, or she will just howl loudly until I do it. It's just crazy. It's the craziest thing. Okay, so here I have this multicolored thread. It's one piece, like, let's see here. This is one piece, but it's the coolest yarn. It's yarn because it's got different sizes, different colors. It's just the most cool thing ever, but I can't waste any of it because I'd never get something that cool again. So I save every little piece I have, and I wanted to just put a little piece at the top of this. So let me just clip a little piece off here. I really don't want this one though because it's too bright pink. I mean, see, the colors change. I think actually I'm going to use this end. But see, I'll keep that because I could glue that little piece on somewhere. I mean, this is like a once in a lifetime to find something that cool, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the top. Yeah, so anyway, so all these papers, the glue papers and everything, Holly gets to play on those in the evening. And it annoys me to no end that I have to put them on the floor. Sometimes she sleeps on them, so I have to leave them when I go to bed, and then in the morning pick them up, walk into a messy room with the papers all over the floor, but she sleeps on them. All right, so I like that a lot. The only thing is I've got kind of a bare spot here. I wonder if there's anything in, you know what? These tiny little birds are perfect. These ones that I showed you, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now they're tiny. I am very roughly fussy cutting these. I am not going to fussy cut these all the way down because, yeah, I just don't have the patience for that. They're itty bitty. Anyway, I think, if I'm not mistaken, these little guys came off an envelope that somebody sent me with something. That's what I think, that they were actually on the envelope, which is so super cute. I mean, you know, it was a printed envelope. It's not something they put on. Okay. All right, just like that. I think I'm just going to put those little guys flying up like this, just to fill that space up there. All right, let's get this little orangey one on first. Okay, like this. So talking about birds too, I don't know if I've told you this too, but we have a camera up at the cabin. I think I have mentioned it before that, you know, it's not deer eating my garden. I know that because the camera would definitely pick up the deer if it was them. But it goes off every once in a while, and it did yesterday too. And I looked to see what it was that had set it off. And a bird sits on the box and waves his little tail feathers right in front of the lens, and it's so funny. And so these little birds reminded me of that. All right, I'm not going to use that little thing. I might use it on another one. Okay, so I have one little tag here. Now, there's nothing on the back, and I'm not sure. Leave in the comments. I should put some writing. I don't know if fairy quotes or just nature quotes maybe, or something like that. But here's my first little tag, and I'm just going to stick it in here. And you know, there can be other things stuck in here, and of course I can decorate the pockets themselves. Also, like I could use, now I've lost it because, you know, why not? Here, this. I could even use this little pocket on the pocket. That kind of actually looks cute here because this is kind of purpley. Let's just go ahead and do it. We're just going to do it, and I'll figure out what to put on there. Maybe I'll put a tag in there, so I'll have a pocket with a tag on a pocket with a tag. How's that? This is going to get super fat, but I think it'll be fun. And I'm so inspired by all of you who are working on fairy journals. I am so inspired by all of you, and this is super fun. And yeah. If you haven't gotten on this boat, make a fairy journal or a nature journal. It doesn't have to be a fairy journal. If you don't want to do fairies, you don't have to do fairies. But do some kind of little nature journal or something. It's a great nod to spring. And see, like even something like this little paper could go in there, or this little thing. It's just a little, I don't know, receipt or ledger something. I'll find something to stick in there, but that's going to be that little pocket. I'll let it dry before I fool around with it too much. And of course I have to decorate the front, so that's going to be like a real fun thing to do that. And I did, when I tied in one of the signatures, I have 3 signatures, remember, in here. But one of the signatures I tied, I left the thread here so that if I find some beads or something that I want to put on there, I can have that on the outside too. So I hope you like my it's called a flip-flop journal. Again, check out Beth's Journal Boutique, the video down in the basement, as Linda D says, in my description box for how to make it. It is super easy making it, and then I just sewed in books where I wanted to sew in, or the little journals, I sewed them in where I wanted to. I put pockets where I wanted to. But if you look at her video, you'll get tons of ideas of what to put in here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you do. And until the next video, me and my little fairies here, hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.